area.
And I'm sure they're watching right now.
Had a long chat with Dick this past week, and Rich get a chance to play golf, I'm told, with Pete Weber. We're going to play Thursday morning, perhaps. Hope he takes it easy on me.
Yeah.
Norm Duke has been waiting a long time for this opening shot, and he dices up the rack and leaves a 7-pin.
And in the practice balls, Duke was having trouble with the ball creeping high. So a little extra speed there, and sent it, really trusted it out to the half board or so.
A fun player to watch perform when he's got it going.
Trouble.
Oh,
right out of the gate. You know, I always wonder, guys that shoot those left-hand spares from the left side of the lane. I didn't learn that way. I don't teach that way. I think it's a mistake, but a lot of guys do it and are very successful. But you catch that oil too quick and the ball can just back right away and miss that spare.
Another great break for Stayrook, who will take the strike in the opening frame.
I wonder what hit the 7-pin there. It was a late pin, came across and got that 7, as we're going to take a look at Duke having more trouble with the 7-pin. From the left side of the approach, right about down the 5th arrow, got a little right of the 5th arrow, and it just never hooked. He's throwing straight at it on purpose, and it looked like he's stuck or something. He's going to look down at the approach. He's saying, oh, no, what a way to start.
Looking to open with the double, and that ball comes up very light. Jess was hoping for one more break, but the 3-pin stands.
And he stared at that in the second frame of the last game. The only difference was the 9-pin was up there. He's got a chance now because the 9-pin fell over. The 3-7, he wants to hit that 3-pin on the right and send it over to the 7. Did you read lips there?
Kathy's saying, all right, he made the 7-10. That's a lot harder than this, so obviously he can convert this.
That's what she said. Okay,
right.
I'm glad you can read lips
Yep.
there.
Years of practice staring at monitors.
Oh, I thought he had it, but it just hooked right by it.
So did he. Look at Jess. She says, oh, I've made the 7-10. I was hoping for the 3-7. Not to be. And one of our good friends, Pam Buckner, representing Ebonite, WABC Hall of Famer, on hand for the championship round. And there you mentioned creeping up and going through the nose is what Duke does on lane 16.
And when it gets to that first board, Denny, on the right side of the lane, it just goes left immediately. Immediately. Watch it. Hit the first board and go left now. Wham! And it's high right now. You just cannot get it to the first board. I mean, I actually think Ferraro made the intelligent decision for the right-handers. Well, nobody wants to win here. He misses 2 spares back-to-back. The 7-pin and the 3-6, neither one would be considered the most difficult in the world. And we bowled 4 frames and have 1 mark between 2 of them.
The interesting note here is that Norm Duke, I think, considers himself perhaps to be the best spare shooter right now on the national tour.
Well, he's disproving that in a hurry, isn't he?
Well, he's 0 for 2.
And again, trouble with the approach.
Needs to get something started. And it can't get much worse through 3 frames as he leaves the whack 9 on lane 15.
The only good news is that I'm sure he's saying to himself, I can make this spare. I know I can. Watch it cut right through. The powerful balls, the tremendous lane friction, and the ball hits the pin and just chops the 5 right off the 9.
How about 1 for 3? Good if you're a professional ball player in Major League Baseball, but as a bowler, Norm finally turns around and says, all right, I'm 1 for 3. I'm down by 8, but I can still get it done.
And, you know, it could be a lot worse. Miss 2 spares, and you're only down by 8 pins at the end of 2.5 frames.
good sign. Well, he's had practice at this, but now does Stayrook make the adjustment and move somewhere else? Does he move in?
That's a good question. It's exactly the thought going right through my mind. I know that John Maz is suddenly thinking, outside, maybe forget it, you know, because this is what John originally had anticipated.
Sure.
Even in the interview, he said he thought he was going to play outside, but he thought that Jess would carry that oil down the lane. And that's what's happened. He's either got to move his feet further left or he's got an opt for moving inside.
In front of the 7. It's been that kind of an afternoon for Jess Stayrook. And now this is a 3-pin match, and Duke, who has already missed twice, is ahead.
Who says you have to make spares to win out here, huh? Clips it. Clipped it too thin. I mean, what a bad break, though. A lot of times that'll happen. The pin will bounce up and still hit it, but he went right around it.
Natural shot now might be a little high, huh?
Yeah, that's the tendency. We're only human.
It was, and it did.
Well, yeah, but you see how much more direct he went? He didn't fool around with getting it out to the first board now.
Carries the 6-pin. And as we head to commercial, let's take a look at famous old Tucson. Arizona's he's 1 for 3 in the spare department and asked Chuck Pisano if he might practice his spares during that last commercial. At least he's kept his sense of humor.
He has really moved a little further left there and sent it right with authority and speed.
They're not calling for John Wayne out there either. They're chanting Duke, 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 as in Norm Duke.
Oh, I see. It isn't the Duke. It's
well, I was just referring once again back to the old Western. You've been over there, right? To old Tucson?
Old Tucson, yeah. They put these old Western dramas on out there that are just tremendously entertaining.
Any gunfights over there?
Oh, yeah. All kinds of gunfights.
We got a shootout right now. Oh, that's out to the half board, and Duke comes storming back. Mike Durbin and says, hey, maybe I can't spare, but I know I can strike.
Well, Jess, with these 2 splits, has just loosened Duke up. Even though he came out a little uptight and missed a couple spares, he may not stop striking now. Jess has to start getting some of his own strikes, though, to put some pressure on Mr. Duke. And he's stuck. Suddenly a lot of trouble with the approaches, both by Duke and now by Stayrook. Again, he's had this before, the 2-4-6-10. He left that in the first match. Watch him come to an abrupt end here. Starts to slide and stops dead. Almost went over the foul line. He might have been better off if he had.
You know what I'm wondering, Michael? He's starting to move a little bit on the approach. Mightn't he be moving into the area that Ferraro was sliding in? Because you mentioned that David comes in heel first. Once again, Stayrook provides us with a sensational conversion.
I got to do this for a tip one time, Dan. I'll tell you, only on the right side, because I can't do it on the left. As he hits the 2-pin on the left, thin, slides it into the 6-10. That is the classic, perfect way to make that split. And here's his reaction. Well, it pumped him up the last match. Let's see if it can do it again this time.
Well, you used Ozio earlier today for the finish. We'll just pull Jess in to shoot that shot.
Right.
Probably do it in one take. What a day for Stayrook. He's seen a little good and a little bad. If you've just joined us, it's been a day that we'll remember for a long time on ESPN, because Stayrook in match number 2. Yeah, match number 2 against Ferraro in the 4th frame converted the 7-10, joining only John Mazza and the great Mark Roth as the only 3 players in PBA history to do so in national television competition.
I wonder if it says anything that's been done now twice in 1 year. Hadn't been done for 20 years and now twice in 1 year.
Pins are lighter, they bounce more.
Well, they're not really lighter. They're still these are 3 6s, 3 7s down there, but they have the 2 voids in them, and they do fly.
16 pins Duke leads by right now. He doubled in the 4th and the 5th. Asked for a re-rack here in the 6th. Mr. Duke has found something to his liking out there on about the 1 board.